Hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Anushka. I also go by Eternal Honesty on here. Um, so as the title says of this live, surviving an ABSN program. So I'm just gonna be talking about some of the things that I did or that I feel really helped me like do well and succeed in school. First and foremost, like I think the most important thing that anyone can do in a program like this is have faith that you will be successful. Like I'm a Christian and I definitely prayed before I started school. I prayed while I was in school, before my exams, before each semester. I would definitely be praying over that semester. Matter of fact, before I started my whole program, I was praying over my entire nursing school journey, like from start to finish. Before I even started, I was praying about like, passing the NCLEX, hoping praying to get a job once I'm done. So just like praying from the minute you decide to go back to school or pursuing this, I say you want to be praying and just, seeking the Lord's favor over what you are choosing to do and just asking for his guidance. So that was like my biggest thing. I would say I was always prayed up. Um, Second thing is like to really start planning how everything is going to go. So I knew going into nursing school that I wanted to still work while I was in school and then getting an idea of what my schedule would be like. So I made sure I went to like the open house and discuss with like, advisors and stuff before starting or even pursuing the program. Like, hey, what's the normal scheduling looks like for this program? Like day to day, weekly, what days will classes and clinicals be? They told me it's typically during the week. So typically they don't do clinicals or classes on the weekends. So I made sure from then, because I knew I wanted to work, I got a job that I was able to work on the weekend. So my set schedule, and I still currently work at that job, is Saturday, Sunday. So I made sure I got that job where I'm able to work still while I'm in school because it's not going to conflict with my class schedule. So I specifically found a weekend job just because of the program I knew I was going into. So I'll be able to still work and still be in school because I need to work in order to pay my bills. So I was very intentional about that when looking for a job that would fit well with my soon to be school schedule, right? The second thing I would say, saving up money. Nursing school, especially an accelerated BSN, it's so time consuming. You're going to be in class, in clinicals all the time. Like you're not going to have a lot of time for yourself and for a lot of things. So if you're like me again, you want to work, you're probably going to have to call out sometimes while you're in school. So it's best that you start saving money so that you have enough money if you needed to like not work for a bit, or if you were to call out a couple of days, you could afford that. So I made sure I had money saved up that once school started, I had money to pay for my textbooks and stuff. I had money to pay for scrubs. I had money to pay for my school supplies. That's also another reason why you need to save up money. My first semester, my textbook cost about $1,000 roughly, I want to say. Second semester was around 800. My last semester, which was the cheapest, was around like $600. So each semester, books ends up costing a good chunk of money. So making sure you have money saved up that you don't have to worry about how am I paying for these textbooks? Like buying scrubs. My school, we had to buy our own scrubs from a school like approved website. The scrubs cost money, guys. And you definitely, depending on how much clinicals you're going to have per semester, you want to have at least two pairs of scrubs. The whole time I was in my program, I had two pairs of scrubs. And then for Christmas, I'd asked my sister to buy me a scrub like jacket, a nice fleece jacket, because I'm always cold and hospitals are freezing. So yeah. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Um, Another thing that I did that to help me kind of save money and not spend my own money, I made a wish list once I got into nursing school of all the supplies and things I wanted, and then gave it to like my closest friends and family. I talked about this before. If you're like someone like me, you do have a strong support system and people who support your goals and vision. This is something I highly recommend you do. Like when I was in undergrad, I had a trunk party when I was going away to college. Again, this is like if you have a strong village and people who are supportive, you can give that like wish list to them, and you can be like, hey, I'm going back to school. Can you guys, like, these are some stuff that I would like if you guys can help, help support me, support my vision. It's really beneficial because it's going to save you money in the long run. You're going to get the supplies that you need. So I did that. I have a great support system, a great people in my life. So I was very thankful that they showed up and showed out for me and was able to give me a lot of things on my list that I didn't have to spend money out of my own pocket. Um, Another thing is start finding out how you study. Knowing how you study and what works best for you is very beneficial because you're not playing a guessing game once you're in school. And you might still have to tweak and change your study technique, but if you know you have a method that tends to work most of the time, once you start, you're going to do that method. And then I like to do, after I take the first exams, I then like kind of do an analysis of like, okay, did this work for me in terms of did I do well on this exam with the way I studied? If the answer is yes, we're going to keep doing the same thing, right? Because why change it if it worked? If it didn't work, then I'm like, okay, why didn't it work? Was it the way the questions were asked? Did I not study in depth enough? Like, what do I need to change in how I studied to help me the next time around? And this is something that I tend to do and try to see, like, a lot of times, most of the time my studying technique works for most of my class, but then there are certain classes it didn't work for, so I had to change it, which meant like doing more practice questions, because it's not that I don't understand the material, but I get tripped up on the wording for questions, right? Or I need to know how to apply it more. So that's something I would say, knowing how you like to study, but then also knowing that you may have to be flexible in how you study overall. Yeah. So that's something I would say helped. Again, going back to having a strong support system, nursing school is hard. You're gonna need to have friends or people you can talk to in your cohort, because as much as your family is also your support system, unless they've done something like this or they're doing something like this, it's going to be hard when you're like complaining or you're having a rough day. They're not going to really understand. So having other people in the cohort who understands and honestly can also help you, because I've had friends where I was having a hard day or concepts I wasn't understanding or needing help with, like resources or understanding material, and they were able to help me and explain it to me. So having friends and in the program and outside the program is always going to be good. I feel like having a support system is pivotal in things like this, because you're going to have bad days, and sometimes you just need someone to like vent to, or to have them around to just take your mind off of whatever it is that's, stressing you out or making you anxious. And also, these people are some of the people that are going to be your biggest cheerleader and cheering you on throughout the whole entire program. I swear, I'm so thankful to my family, my friends, and my man for like being my supporters. Um, what else? This one, and I say it all the time, and I tell people, like, don't ever be afraid to ask questions in class, or even if it's just like shooting your professor an email. I really think we tend to forget, like, yes, these professors are our teachers, but they're also there to support you. And if they're not, like, go to somebody else in the faculty who seems to be willing to help, because at the end of the day, if you don't do good, it also looks bad on them, because half the time it's partly the teacher's fault why students do not succeed. If the majority of class is not doing well in the exam, it's not the student's fault, it is the teacher's fault, because the way they're teaching the material is not in a way for people to understand. So I 100% don't believe it's fair to always say, oh, the students didn't understand, the students don't get it. Sometimes the way the professor is teaching just is not effective. If, again, because if the majority is not understanding the material, it is not the student's fault, it is the teacher. And I say this as a former teacher, and I know everyone does not learn in the same way. So what might work for some people might not work for others. But yeah, I also, you just want to be accountable for your own education, because you're doing this, you're spending money. So you don't want to sit there being confused and feel like, oh, I'm going to be embarrassed if I say something stupid in class. Like, rather you look stupid in class by asking the question than fail the exam, guys. Like, I promise you, I'd rather ask a question and be like, oops, I got that wrong, and then knowing the correct answer for how to move forward later on, then just stay confused. um then I would say use your resources. Your school is probably going to give you a lot of different things that you can use. I don't like reading textbooks, but for some of the classes it actually did benefit me to read the textbooks. So figuring out which resources actually are helpful versus which ones are not. I love YouTube as a resource because I can put a YouTube video on and like be cleaning up in my room, but I'm still listening, or I'll put my AirPods in, or I'll listen to like YouTube videos on the train, on the bus, like I know, like going home. So I say user resources: YouTube, Nurse Sarah, Registered Nurse Sarah, Nexus Nurse, Level Up RN. I know some people like Simple Nursing. I didn't use it, but a lot of people love it, but I didn't. But that's another resource. I love Quizlets. Quizlet everything. Quizlet for helping to find NCLEX questions. Quizlet for helping with finding homework answers. I would sometimes make my own Quizlets depending. My friends would make and share it with me. I would share it with my friends if I made one. So I'm just like, again, all of these things. Reason why I have you need friends is because they're gonna share their resources and everything with you, and you do the same. It's not just a one-way street. Like if they gave me stuff, I was very appreciative of it. And if I ever made a Quizlet or found a good one, I would share it with them too. Um, yeah. What else? Like, what are some other things that really helped? Getting a solid amount of sleep each night. I swear by getting my minimal 6 hours of sleep if I can. The few nights I didn't is because for whatever reason I had insomnia and I couldn't fall asleep. But I would always try to go to bed early to get some sleep, guys. I don't understand how people would be like pulling all-nighters. Not me. It just don't work for my brain, so I don't do it. Yeah. Um, what are some of the stuff that I thought were like really good stuff? Those are like the main ones, like, mm-hmm. And remembering to do some fun things too in nursing school. Nursing school is not your entire life, it's not your entire personality. I would still like, try and hang out with my friends when I can. I would still like go to like church events and like go online for my Zoom meetings with my church fam, hanging out with my boyfriend, hanging out with my family, just like, when I can. The thing I also did, I made a tracker, an assignment tracker. I can probably show you guys an example for like my summer one. I don't even know if I finished updating it all. Oh, I did. So, oh, so this is like what my tracker looked like in Excel with like all my assignments and exam dates, and it's obviously, you guys can see, it's color coded by the course, and then it's organized by the date that the assignment is due. So before each semester they'll open up all the courses, I'll go and look at the syllabus and put all of the assignments and exam dates and everything into this, and then throughout the semester I will check it to see what's due, what do I need to do. So this kept me very on track. This also was great for anytime I wanted to, like, hang out with friends or do things, and I was like, okay, let's see how, if I have any exams the following week, if I have a lot of assignments due. So I would kind of use it to kind of like, how much work do I have coming up, do I have the time that I can actually go out. So that was really good. also maybe I could plan ahead, right? If I know like, oh, this week is gonna be, I'm gonna have 2 light weeks back to back. I know I can be outside a bit more. So yeah, I would do that. Yeah. Um, so that is also a really great thing that I think people should do. Like, you need to have a way of keeping track and staying organized so you're not missing assignments, you're not missing deadlines. And if the professor changed the syllabus, I just go back in here. Usually they're just changing the dates assignments are due. I would change the dates the assignments due, so just to, like, stay on top, stay on top of everything. Yeah. But that's like about it. Like, I feel like those are some of the things that I did and I think were really helpful for me with nursing school. And again, it's gonna, I'm not gonna say, like, it's super hard. Like, there are hard parts of it, but then it's also not, you can't put in effort and no work and expect to do well. If you want to do well, you have to put effort, you have to put in work. But yeah. And now I'm in the process of studying for the NCLEX. I just started studying today. I went through a bunch of practice questions and did a practice NCLEX exam, and I did well. So I just need to take it. I'm like trying to see when they're going to send me my code, but they're being so slow with everything. Like, they're backed up. So I'm probably going to be waiting at least like maybe another week or so before I get the code to be able to like schedule my date for the NCLEX, guys, which is annoying because I want to take it as soon as I can. Yeah. And job hunting has not been all that fun either. But I will get a job. I will get a job soon enough. But yeah, that's all. That's pretty much it for the video. Like, as always, if you guys have any questions, leave me a comment down below and I'll definitely get back to you guys. Yeah, so thank you guys. Bye.